What's happening, guys? It's Boxing Lowdown here. It's what 5:30 in the morning here in the UK, and just wait, just getting my post-fight reactions now to Berchelt-Valdez and Broner-Santiago. Wow, man! Let's start off with Valdez against Berchelt. Unbelievable fight that was, man. Lived up to expectations as we all thought it would. Now, Oscar Valdez, wow. Putting in a fantastic performance to win the fight by 10th round stoppage. Have to admit, I got this one wrong. I really believed that Miguel Berchelt would be too big and too strong for Oscar Valdez. But, you know, fair play to Oscar Valdez, man. I mean, he moved up in weight. It's his second fight at the weight. And he put in a fantastic performance. He dropped Miguel Berchelt in the fourth. And he had him on very wobbly legs, man. Really wobbly legs. And, like, I thought that, you know, if he does well, if he can get out of the next round, then fair play to him, because I thought he was going to go. But, you know, he fought on. Miguel Berchelt did very well to carry on. And, you know, it ended up with Oscar Valdez just being too much for Berchelt and landing a tremendous left hand in the 10th round. And, you know, Berchelt was out flat on his face, you know, totally gone. And we have a new WBC super featherweight champion, man. Oscar Valdez, fantastic performance. Eddie Reynoso, you know, what he's doing there with some of those guys at his gym is unbelievable, man. I mean, you look at some of the guys on his stable right now. You've got Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, Oscar Valdez, Andy Ruiz. You know, it's it's a training camp full of winners, that. And Eddie Reynoso is really stamping his mark as a trainer. And Oscar Valdez was sensational because, like I said, I picked, and I know a lot of other people did as well, picked Miguel Berchelt to win that one. And to be fair to him, man, I mean, what a great performance from Oscar Valdez. Tremendous fight, lived up to expectations. And wow, man, we have a new WBC super featherweight champion. And big up the guys in the chat already. I've got one from here. Luke from Simbox. What's going on, bro? He's put, not sure about those Broner cards. Yeah, nor am I, to be honest, man. Let's talk about that Broner fight, man. Broner against Santiago. Broner was returning after 2 years out. And he's still the same issues with Adrian Broner for me. He didn't let his hands go enough. I saw the punch stats after the fight. He was outlanded by Santiago by 207 punches to 98. Broner only landed 98. Santiago landed 207. And, you know, that doesn't necessarily determine who wins the fight or not. But the quality of Adrian Broner's punches were more on effect than Santiago. But for me, man, I don't know about those scorecards at all, man. Broner came out with a wide unanimous points decision win over Giovanni Santiago. One of the cards was quite close, actually. I think it was 115, 112. But then the others were like, you know, 117, 111, I think it was, or something like that. So, yeah, not for me. Not for me, man. I think that Broner, if he is going to reach the heights of where he wants to go to, he's going to have to do a lot more. You know, he's going to have more fights. But, I mean, I won't be too hard on him because it was 2 years out. But the same issues kept applying for me for Adrian Broner. I mean, he wasn't letting his hands go. And he got the win tonight, albeit controversial. But it's a win anyway at the end of the day. He's got back in the W column. A much-needed win. I mean, his first win since Adrian Granados, and that was a few years ago. That was about 3 odd years ago, I think. So, yeah, good win there for Adrian Broner, I suppose, but a lot more to work on and a lot more to do. He's going to have to map his, his fights out pretty carefully if he is going to get back to where he wants to be. It's not going to be a quick fix for him. That's what I gathered from tonight, man. And big up Santiago as well, man. He came in there, he gave it a good effort. Those scorecards will be a bit demoralized and a bit like Kiko Martinez against Zelfa Barrett last week, where Kiko Martinez put up a fantastic effort only for the scorecards to not reflect the fight. I think that was the same thing here with Broner and Santiago. I mean, a lot of people believe that Santiago did enough to win, let alone have it a lot closer on the scorecards. They think that he should have won the fight. So, yeah, I think he could have got the win as well, if I'm being honest. I didn't keep a running scorecard of it, but I thought that Santiago definitely did enough to win. He was just landing more, and he was applying pressure throughout. Broner had his flashes of brilliance. You know, he showed that he's got a great repertoire still when he chooses to let his hands go. But the issue is that he doesn't let his hands go enough. And it's just the same thing with Adrian Broner, man. He just doesn't let them go enough. Big up Luke here. He's got another comment. He's put 2 years out, but still the same problems for me. Lack of output, and he isn't a natural 147-pound fighter. Yeah, that has to be said as well. Adrian Broner fought at 147 pounds. You know, that was the welterweight limit. He, I think he weighed in at like 146 pounds, but originally he was due to fight at 140 pounds, him and Santiago. That was the contracted weight. but he, for whatever reason, like 24 hours before the fight, the weight limit got increased to 147 pounds as the limit instead of it being 140. So, that pretty much tells you that he's, he didn't make the weight, So, I mean, no, it was both of them. I mean, Santiago weighed in at 145. So it is what it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, a lot more to do from Broner. Luke says here his power doesn't carry up. I totally agree. He didn't wobble Santiago at all. I mean, he could have scored a knockdown, but I don't think Santiago's glove touched the canvas. But that was one of a few punches from Broner, man. It's just, again, it's not consistent enough, and that's going to be his problem. He's not going to be consistent enough to deal with these top guys, man. Big up Zabul in the chat here. He's put Broner looked terrible. Yeah, he didn't look that great at all. He didn't look that great, man. Like I said, not enough output from AB. And how many times do we have to say that? How many times do we say that there's not enough output from Adrian Broner? Yeah, a lot more to do. A lot more to do. Zabul back in the chat here. He's put Berchelt versus Valdez was a fantastic fight. Yeah, let's get back onto that. That was an unbelievable fight, man. And the Broner and Santiago fight was really just a come down from that fight. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, for those that are just joining the chat and might have missed what I said earlier, I picked Miguel Berchelt to win. I know a lot of other people did. He was the favorite. But Oscar Valdez was brilliant in there, man. He showed a great jab. And, he was just outboxing Berchelt and he was hurting him. And, like I said, he dropped him twice in the fourth. And then he ended it spectacularly in the 10th. I mean, he could not have picked, a fight to go better for him, Oscar Valdez, man, because nobody would have predicted it would have been that easy for him. Even those that might have predicted him to win, no one would have predicted it to be that easy for him. But he looked fantastic, man. Berchelt, let me just put this out for him. He's got the heart of a warrior. Do you know what I mean? He's a warrior. And it was good to see him, regain consciousness after that knockout, because it was a bad knockout, man. It was a bad one. Fantastic left hook from Valdez. And he proved a lot of people wrong tonight, including me. I predicted Berchelt would be too big and too strong. But Oscar Valdez now has the belt at super featherweight, WBC champion. Let's see what happens next, man. I mean, I know Shakur Stevenson was tweeting after the fight, and I think Oscar Valdez wants it too. That'll be an easy one to make. So let's see it, man. Let's see it. How do you guys see that fight? Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson? Because I'll tell you what, man, Oscar Valdez, he looked fantastic tonight. He really did. I didn't expect that to happen at all. Big up Will Stokes in the chat. He's put, what's up, bro? Nothing much, man. It's 20 to 6 in the AM. Just getting these post-fight reactions out. What did you think of the fight? Let me know what you thought about the fights, man. But yeah, Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson, that would be a fantastic fight, man. I think it'd be easy to make. I think it can be done. So let's see it. Let's see it, man. Big up Terry Smoot Jr. in the chat here. He's put Berchelt should retire, man. It was a beating. It was a beating. I mean, would he retire? I don't know. How old is Berchelt? I don't know how old he is, but how old is he? But it was a beating that he took there, man. And I don't know what he's going to have left after that, because it was a bad beating from Valdez. And I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all, man. I thought that Berchelt would be too much for him, but Valdez looked sensational. Terry Smoot in the chat here has put Shakur would style on Valdez. And then he's put Shakur is waiting on the winner of Frampton and Heron. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that Shakur Stevenson was waiting on the winner for that fight. The Frampton and Heron fight's obviously been pushed back. That was supposed to take place next week, but now it's been pushed back until a couple of months away. I think and it's going to be taking place in Dubai. That fight. I think Frampton suffered a slight hand injury, so it is what it is. But I think that Shakur Stevenson, I think it'd be too much for Frampton if Frampton was to win that fight. Heron would be a good fight as well, but let's see what happens when those two get it on, man. But Shakur Stevenson's in a great position, fantastic division. And let's see what happens, man. But like I said, Oscar Valdez, just a great win. And like I said, the Broner fight, after watching Berchelt-Valdez and then going to Broner-Santiago afterwards, I mean, it was on in the background, but I'm not going to lie, my eyes were mainly focused on Berchelt and Valdez. But after watching Broner-Santiago after that, it was just a massive come down, man. It was. Will Stokes has said here, that referee was an absolute disgrace, allowing Berchelt to carry on after round 4. So annoying. Needs to take some notes off Adam Booth earlier with Kelly. Yeah, I mean, Berchelt did do okay in the 6th. I think 6th, 7th round, he started to come back into it a little bit. But the way how his legs were going, man, it was just, he was on wobbly legs. And, Oscar Valdez just had him. He just had him, man. It was, I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought they'd be too big, too strong. But do you know what I saw today? I think I saw somewhere an article where Miguel Berchelt was saying that he was thinking about moving up in weight. He said he wasn't sure how long he was going to stay at 130 pounds for. Now, obviously, I think he's gone straight to the hospital, but Miguel Berchelt, he's going to get checked over. But I'm curious to see what his interview is after the fight. Do you know what I mean? Like what he has to say. Maybe he will bring up that weight issue again. But yeah, I mean, I saw a few other people say that, that the referee shouldn't have allowed it to carry on. Similar to Josh Warrington last week, where he was, after the fourth round as well, he was on terrible legs, and that shouldn't have carried on. Literally the same sort of fight it was. But yeah, unbelievable fight, man. Great fight and a great win for Valdez. Will Stokes has said here, Booth had a brilliant stoppage with Kelly earlier. Yes, he did. That was done. He threw the towel in at the right time. Kelly was, he was done at that stage. Had two bad cuts, one on the back of his head, one on above his eye. Avanesian was applying the pressure, man. He was putting on some real pressure on Josh Kelly, and you could see it was starting to tell. And after that knockdown, he just literally needed a break, it seemed like, from the constant pressure that Avanesian was putting on him. And then, following that, the follow-up from Avanesian, the writing was on the wall. So, yeah, Adam Booth looked after his fighter, lived to fight another day. It's going to be crushing for Josh Kelly now. But, I think it was perfectly timed and the right decision as well. Will Stokes says here, it proves that Adam Booth cares more about the person than the career. And I wish more refs and corners were like that. I totally agree with you, man. Good comment there. Got Drama Allergy. Thank you for the comment. He's put Berchelt, total class act. And he's put Berchelt was on bad legs all night. Yeah, he was on terrible legs, man. He was on terrible legs tonight. He was just, he was just like unstable, man. Every time Valdez hit him, he just wasn't stable. And it was just not what I'm used to seeing. I mean, Berchelt is very strong. And like I said, very good at the weight. But maybe now it's time for him to move up. Maybe it's time for him to move up and see what he can do there. I know that there was a comment earlier saying that he'll retire. He's definitely not going to retire on the back of that, especially, man. But fantastic performance from Valdez. I have to give it to him. In my podcast on Thursday, I was saying that Miguel Berchelt was too big, too strong. And if anything, I was seeing it going the other way. I thought that it would be Berchelt, like stopping Valdez later on. But that wasn't the case, man. So fair play to Oscar Valdez. He remains undefeated. And, he goes on. His star goes on. So good win for him. I might not sleep after that, says Got Drama Allergy. He's put, what a fight. Kelly was labouring. His lungs were bad. Yeah, I agree with you. Terry Smoot Jr. in the chat here has put, can Berchelt cope at lightweight? Can he compete at lightweight? We all know lightweight is a fantastic division. On that evidence, no. Do you know what I mean? On that evidence, no. But maybe he'll feel a lot stronger at lightweight. The lightweight division is strong, man. You know who's up there. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, Javante Davis when he wants to be up there. Can Berchelt mix in with those guys? Not on the back of that performance, I have to say. Terry Smoot has also said here, the lightweight division has killers. Yeah, as I just said, Teofimo, Haney, even Nakatani. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Nakatani as well. Forgot to mention him. Will Stokes has put here, I pray that Berchelt is okay, but providing he's all good, then I just want to point out that I swear none of the Canelo team ever lose. They don't, man. I'm telling you, that camp is full of winners. And you know what? I want to see Andy Ruiz. I want to see Andy Ruiz and see how he gets on in his next fight, because he's looking in fantastic shape. And I want to see when there's no announcement or anything yet, but being in and around that camp, man, is just full of winners there. I mean, everybody is just on a roll right now. And Canelo's fighting next week. Let's not forget, he's going to be in action against Anthony Yildirim. We're all expecting him to win pretty easily there. But yeah, I mean, that camp, man, it'd just be a good energy around that camp, full of winners in there. And fair play to Oscar Valdez, man. I'm happy for him. It was a great win for him. But I'm glad I hope that Berchelt is okay as well. I mean, it was a bad knockout. He was out for a while, and I'm glad that he's okay. I'm glad he did regain consciousness before I switched it over to Broner-Santiago. So, I'm glad that he's okay. But going back onto Broner-Santiago before I sign out, because I'm not going to be on here too long. I need to get some sleep, man. I'm not going to lie. Broner, yeah, it was a controversial decision win. Many people that I've been speaking to after the fight, not that many, but I've spoke to a couple of people, and they've all told me that they thought Santiago did enough to win. watching that fight for me, I thought he could have nicked it by a point. I thought a draw would have been fair. But, you know, Broner, I think it was the scorecards more than anything. Similar to Zelfa Barrett and Kiko Martinez last week. I thought that, you know, a draw would have been fair. But if Broner got the decision, then fine. But it was just the scorecards for me. Two of them were just a bit too wide, in my opinion. Broner, like I said, he just didn't throw that many punches. He did enough to win. And the punches that he did land definitely were, you know, definitely were more flashier than Santiago's, and you know they were the scoring punches. That doesn't necessarily mean if you know land more punches that means you win the fight, and that this is an example of it. I mean, Broner did land the better looking punches, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me, and I don't think Santiago got the credit that he deserved for the effort that he put in, for sure. So yeah, I think Broner's got a lot to do. Got drama allergy has put he had a draw. Terry Smoot also thought it was a draw. He said the scorecard was really wide. 117, 111 was crazy for Broner. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Crazy. I just, when I saw that, I thought, you know what, maybe they might give it to Santiago. That's what I thought, especially when you consider the punch stats. So I just thought, okay, 117, 111, they're probably going to give it to Santiago, but they gave it to Broner. Terry Smoot has also said here, the 115, 112 with the 1 point reduction is on point. Yeah, I'm not saying like it was a robbery. I think you could give it to Broner, but just those scorecards again, man, it wasn't right for me. Second week in a row, we've got that too. Will Stokes has put here, I pray that Broner is okay mentally. Seems somewhat deflated after the fight to me, and I know he's dealt with some mental health in the past. Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. And he did. I didn't really get that energy from Broner tonight. You know, like when there's an AB fight on, you know, his ring walks, he's always dancing to the ring. Okay, I know there was no fans there or anything like that, but you know, I just didn't get that same vibe from Broner tonight. Maybe he needs people around him to get him motivated and get him hyped up. But you know, it was his first fight back after 2 years. I'm not going to be too harsh on him, but the same problem still arose for me. Didn't let his hands go. But he did enough to get the win. So fair play to him. And yeah, I think that I was actually thinking that, you know, at the end of the fight about his mental health, if he was to lose this fight, then I was thinking the worst. I was like, I wonder what's going to happen if he does lose this, because he's probably going to, you know, go off the rails again and, you know, maybe end up in like court or whatever. And that's not what you want to see. So, you know, at least he's got the win. He's got time to reflect on it, and fair play to him. Will Stokes has said here, I didn't score it, but I had the feel of an even fight. Yeah, that's how I saw it as well. I mean, you could have gave it 1 or 2 round swing either way, but a draw seemed fair to me. A draw definitely seemed fair. Got drama allergies put, cannot get properly scorecards. We need a change. We do. I think that scorecards need reforming. I think we need to, it's a subjective area in the sport, you know, when it comes to scoring fights. And, you know, there are going to be some scorecards out there that are going to leave you scratching your head, whereas there are going to be others that were perfect. I think what scorecards were, there was a scorecard tonight on the Josh Kelly and Avanesian fight, you know, that undercard where the scorecards were right. That was Robbie Davis Jr. When he fought Valenzuela. The scorecards for that fight in particular were pretty much perfect for me. So there are times when they do get it right, but unfortunately on the last like couple of times, they've got it completely wrong. And, you know, they've been either too wide or the wrong person's got the win. And it's starting to become a regular occurrence now, unfortunately. Big up Tipsy Punch in the chat. He's put, yo, what's happening, man? Hope you're all good, man. Just giving my post-fight reaction here. You know what? I'm going to sign off soon because it's like 10 to 6 in the morning. But yeah, just my reaction, man. Like good fights tonight from the start. I mean, the Josh Kelly Avanesian card, that was brilliant. You know, the Miguel Berchelt Oscar Valdez fight delivered as we expected it to. And it delivered and more. Do you know what I mean? It actually exceeded expectations, that fight did. Broner-Santiago was, you know, a bit disappointing. But what did you guys think of, you know, Wallin against Brazil before I go? Otto Wallin winning a unanimous points decision over Dominic Brazil. You know, he couldn't miss him at first. I mean, Dominic Brazil, we knew that he's quite slow, but he looked very, very slow tonight, man. I mean, he looked very slow. And, you know, he didn't look the same. I know that the fight against Wilder was back in May 2019. So it was a long time ago. And it was a devastating loss for Brazil, man. I mean, he was going into that fight with a real hatred for Deontay Wilder. I mean, it was personal between those two. So for that fight to end as it did, you know, with Dominic Breazeale getting stretched out and not fighting since, and now coming up against Otto Wallin, he didn't look that great to me. He had a new trainer in Abel Sanchez in the corner, but you know, he just, his punches, man. Even when he was throwing punches, it looked like he was putting in so much effort just to throw them. Do you know what I mean? I saw a little grimace on his face, like when he was throwing punches, and he just he didn't look that good to me at all, man. He was getting caught at will by Otto Wallin, and he's lucky that Wallin's not a huge puncher. Like, if he's lucky, Wallin can't really bang at heavyweight. I mean, if there was somebody that could bang, I think Breazeale would have been out. Do you know what I mean? Will Stokes has said here, how did you have the Kelly fight at the stoppage, bro? I had it 5-0, although Avanesian was coming on for sure. I think that, yeah, Kelly was definitely winning, but I think the pattern of the fight was evolving from, like, you know, round 3, round 4. I think that, like, from round 4, Avanesian was starting to gain control of the fight. So I think he might have had one or two rounds maybe, but Kelly was definitely ahead, even though it doesn't matter now. But I think that, yeah, Avanesian was applying the pressure, and I think the writing was on the wall, especially with the cuts. And, you know, it didn't look that good for Josh Kelly. He put in so much effort earlier on. I think that, like, all of that nervous energy must have burnt a lot, and he got really tired. And then the pressure from Avanesian as well started to tell. So the stoppage was coming, unfortunately, for Kelly. Terry Smoot Jr. here has put, Dominic Breazeale is washed. He won't win a heavyweight title, so now he is a gatekeeper. Yeah, he's definitely a gatekeeper now. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to compete at the top and fight the top guys. Not with how he looked tonight, man. I mean, he looked terrible. He looked slow. His punches didn't have no pop on them. He did put in a good effort, particularly towards the end. Wallin was getting tired, and Dominic Breazeale was trying to force it. You know, he's got heart. We got to give him that. He does have heart, Dominic Breazeale. But ultimately, just not good enough, man. Just not good enough. Got Drama Allergy has put 1 a.m. here. You know you're a dedicated fan. Thanks for the post rundown. I wish Breazeale did not vow a knockout with Wallin. Breazeale's conditioning is sour. Yeah, Got Drama Allergy. What part of the world are you from? I guess you're in America. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, man. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subbed, man, sub to the channel. We could get chatting more. Same with Terry Smoot Jr. as well. It's good to, you know, get. This is why I come on at these times, because, you know, we can interact with people from across the world. And, you know, it's great to have you guys on. Even though there's not many people in this chat, it's great to have you guys here. And I appreciate your comments. So thank you. But yeah, Breazeale did. I mean, he always does that, doesn't he? He always says, I'm going to knock the guy out and whatever. And I get it. You need to try and sell the fight. But, you know, tonight, he looked slow. His punches didn't have much on them. And like I said, if it was somebody else, you know, if it was somebody that could hit, even like a Derek Chisora or someone like that, then Breazeale would have been flat out, man. But Otto Wallin, good win for him. You know, he was boxing well out of the southpaw stance. And, you know, he was tagging Breazeale at will at times. You know what I mean? He was just landing, like, beautiful jabs, and he was mixing it up. But he just couldn't do enough to, you know, get the stoppage win. But he did mark up Breazeale's eye pretty badly with the accuracy of his shots. So, you know, good win for Otto Wallin, man. It'd be interesting to see where he goes next. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to be interested to see who he does fight, because there are a lot of heavyweights out there. And I think that they'll fancy their chances against Wallin. But Wallin will put up a good effort against anyone, man. We saw that against Tyson Fury. Terry Smoot Jr. has put, Breazeale won't beat King Kong Ortiz or Povetkin or any big names. He should retire since he won't beat a contender. Listen, Terry Smoot is on this retirement talk, man. He said that Berchelt should retire, and now he's saying Dominic Breazeale should retire. And listen, man, Breazeale, yeah, I mean, how much does he really have left at this stage? He's definitely not beating Ortiz or Povetkin or any of the other. I mean, he's not beating those guys. Who would I pick him to beat right now? Not anyone anywhere near the top 10 or 15. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where will he be happy just being a gatekeeper? I don't know, because Breazeale has fought at the top before. So, yeah, I don't know. He didn't look that good to me at all. I wouldn't be surprised if he retired. He's 35 years old. Where does he really go from here? I'm not sure. But, I mean, there's always fights to be made. And let's see what he does. Got Drama Allergy has put, yes, I am subbed in Penna USA. Big up, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for subbing to the channel. Terry Smoot has put, I'm in California. What's happening, man? He's put, I just subbed as well. Great content today. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. Much appreciated. Will Stokes has said here, Wallin's points win was pretty predictable. Good win for him, although he did seem to be slowing as it went on, yeah, I predicted Otto Walling would win on points. Actually, I thought that he would win this one on points, and you know, he did. I think a lot of people that I was speaking to thought he'd win it on points as well. It was quite an easy fight to predict. I'm not gonna lie. I just knew that like the ring rust for Dominic Breazeale would be a factor. The fact that he's slow and the fact that Otto Walling has more hand speed, the fact that he's more likely to land on Breazeale, and the fact that as well he's not a massive puncher. All of those signs pointed to a points win for me, and that's pretty much what happened. So it wasn't the best fight in the world, but a good win for Otto Walling there for sure, man. Got Drama Allergies put Walling down the pipe left was spot on. Yeah, it was. He was just landing at will, and Breazeale, like, he was just, his chin up was up in the air. He looked pretty amateurish tonight, man. But like I said, he has been out for a while. But even so, I mean, he just looked kind of amateurish in there, man. Got caught by a lot. And, you know, he did the spirited effort towards the end, but never really looked close to winning, in my opinion. So, yeah, that was a good win there for Otto Walling. But listen, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. And I'm going to be back online tomorrow. So I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate all your feedback and your comments. Big up to the new subs as well. Terry Smoot Jr., Got Drama Allergy. Thank you all for subbing to the channel. If you're new to the channel and you've just been directed here, feel free to hit that sub button. Let's get interactive, man. Let's get talking. And I appreciate all your feedback and comments. Like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. And let me just read this last comment here from Will Stokes. He's put, Breazeale looked very limited today. He has power and heart and durability, but that's about it. He has the kind of style that is dangerous for your health. So retirement wouldn't be the worst decision, in my opinion. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Got Drama Allergies put, enjoy your morning. Salute. I've been subbed for a long time. Cheers. I didn't even know. Sorry, man. I didn't even know you'd been subbed for that long, but I appreciate you anyway, man. And appreciate everybody else, man. Have a good evening, everybody, or good morning, wherever you are. And we'll chat again tomorrow. Peace out, everyone.